talk about what to expect for next week. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for April 9th, 2021. Q's up 0.61 and SPY up 0.73. We had a little bit of a gap down in the Q's and right back up. I've been talking about for the last few days that we're a little bit extended on the Qs, expecting a little bit of a pullback. So today's gap down is not what I meant by a little bit of a pullback. And the market continues higher. Okay, so overall bullish on the market. That hasn't changed, right? Ever since the weekly triggered here on the Qs, the hourly also resumed the uptrend. We have looked higher. The manner in which we're going higher, this is the kind of move up that, no pullbacks and tough to kind of start a long position up here. But market has continued to move up higher. So that does make it, I think, a little bit more challenging going into the next day because we know what the larger time frame bias, right? This is why I'm not saying we're bearish on the Qs or SPY because we're extended or that we should be shorting up here. It's, we're extended up, not the best time to start a new position, but we're overall bullish, right? That's really been the read. So that does make it hard to kind of take advantage of this move up or even the last bit here of the move up. But today's bar doesn't really change anything. In fact, we got even a little bit of acceleration here into the end. Not all that impressive. We're actually going to take a look at some other breakouts that kind of accelerated to put in the top, at least temporarily. And so while we get a little bit of this volume kind of picked up and things like that, it doesn't change that we're still going to be bullish going into Monday, but also still going to be a bit extended here. Okay, so perhaps, we fix that by basing up here. Maybe we do start some kind of pullback. We do have room here to come back in now that we've come back up into the previous high. Maybe we do get that pullback. We'll see. But overall, still bullish on the market. I don't see any other way to be. Just up quite a bit at this point. So not going to be aggressively starting longer term positions on Monday. Okay. All right, let's go over the plays from today. The ET was the first play here. Played it in the morning as a base breakout. Okay. Pretty muted, I thought, as far as warning signs that this breakout was going to fail. But it did fail. We initially used this base as the stop, and then once it triggered, I said bring the stop up. So we lost a little bit more than half an hour on this ET, on this breakout. It was looking like, maybe that this, would hold here, like this pullback here, but it did trail right there. Okay, so partial loss on the ET to start off the day. Here's what the daily looked like. I was trying to break out of this base. We talked about yesterday the nice play from James there. I thought, as far as dailies goes, this was definitely better. You can see just much more strength going on here. 20 MA starting to curl up as it's breaking over this base. The ET, you can see a little bit still in this congestion area, but I did really like the relative strength that it showed in the morning, and it was a nice tight stop. Okay, so nice tight stop. Thought it was worth a try to see if we could get some decent follow through. Once the kind of breakout came back in, tightened up the stop, partial loss there. And then later in the morning, while on the mic, went after this COMM, and the kind of the funny thing is right before playing this, we talked about the BBY. In this BBY, I didn't play it because I found it was already kind of had done this move. But I said, this is your pretty typical volume warning sign. Now, I don't really go bar by bar on volume to try and analyze it. Like, any of like during this pullback and all of this, like any of this stuff here, like the volume through most of this here, I'm not really trying to draw any big conclusions from this. Okay, or not act on it. Okay, it doesn't really tell me to buy or sell or do anything based on the volume that's going on here. But when you get volume like this, that is the biggest one of the day by far, then it says, okay, you know, we got to do something. Okay, so I said if you had happened to play this, I didn't play it, I wasn't even aware of it on this breakout, you would need to be taking some at the top as it moved up, getting really tight, and then you wouldn't want it to break the inside bar. This is on the 5-minute, but I'm sure on the 2-minute you could have even been even tighter here to look for something to trail to. I think it comes out to be about the same. Okay, so kind of talked about that, and then we came across the COMM. COMM was a 5-minute base breakout, and you can see it's not that unlike the ET that we played. So here was the COMM. We were playing over this topping tail, and bottom goes underneath the base. Okay, and then triggered. It hung around for a little bit, another inside bar, and then look at that, right? So that's why as soon as this happened, I told the room, you know what? We were going to try to do half on the first target, which was, I think, 1770. Actually, like blew right past it. I was going to do half and try to stick with it because look at the daily. Daily, we're cleared of any kind of recent resistance. Got to go all the way to, you know, what is that? That is 2019 to find kind of any overlap there. So, and I like what it's doing on the weekly. So the intention was try to stick with it as long as we could. But when you get this happening, big volume, big bar, is that we probably need to take the whole thing. Ended up trailing this. First, used the first 2-minute inside bar there, which trailed underneath that. And then the 5-minute was for the final piece. So took some on the initial pop. I think trailed around 1793, and then 2-minute, and then the 5-minute eventually trailed right there. Okay, because I was using, so it trailed right there because I was using this inside bar here. Okay, so not too much better than break even on the runner, unfortunately. But just in case it did want to continue, in this case it didn't. And, you know, we definitely had the volume cue give us the signal that, you know, this may not be able to continue anymore. All right, so that was kind of the day. You know, I don't really come into these with the intention of, oh, we're going to talk about breakout failures today, or how 1, 2, 3s should follow through, or when there's a volume cue and things like that. That's just what was kind of the issue today. And, you know, and you're not always going to know if a breakout's not going to follow through because of that. So again, on the ET here, I didn't really see any big problems with this to say, okay, let's get out of it now. Unlike the COM and the BBY, those were a lot more obvious, right? So those were the plays from today. All right, going into Monday, pretty extended up, still expecting a pullback, but still overall bullish on Monday. Okay, so we'll be back at it then. Hope everyone has a nice weekend, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks.